Good morning. Welcome to another edition for the Exchange of Ideas. So, yesterday I stopped by the gas station. I stopped by the gas station. It's my 7-Eleven. I stop by there almost every day, if not to use, at least to use the bathroom because it's one of the cleanest bathrooms in the city. Um, get gas, pick up water, stuff like that. In the last week, I've stopped by 3 times: Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Wednesday, I got gas. Monday, gas was 5.35 for a gallon of regular gasoline. Wednesday it was 5.65. Yesterday, I'm sorry, so it's Thursday, not Friday. Today's Friday. Yesterday it was $5.85, and I finally said, you know what? Fuck it, I'm not getting gas. By the way, this is going to be a curse laced because I'm really pissed off at my governor. I live in the state of California. I'm sorry, I'm moving a bunch of stuff out of my way so I can rest my elbow. I live in the state of California. In the state of California, we pay $1.05 tax for a gallon of gas. The highest tax any place else in the United States, outside of Hawaii and Alaska, is 50 cents. Outside of the state of California and the state of New York, everybody else has great roads because of that level of taxation. California, New York has uh, issues with weather that destroy asphalt, macadam, and concrete. Uh, they have very cold, very wet winters. They have very dry, very hot. Very humid, very hot summers, and it really flexes concrete and asphalt to the point where it breaks. I mean, there's just no getting around it. They There's a new, not really new, but relatively new in the span of using macadam, asphalt, and concrete for roadways, a new plasticized concrete, which flexes better and holds together better in that type of weather. It's not perfect, but it works pretty good. In California, we're not using that. I don't really understand why, and our roads are garbage. And we don't have the issues that New York has, or the East Coast in general. We don't have extreme weather, really, for the most part, throughout the state. The only place we really have extreme weather is up in the Sierra Mountains, and you have to get above, 5 or 6 thousand feet before it gets like that. So, and those roads are actually pretty good, all things considered. They take fairly good care of them. Um, but here, like especially in the Bay Area, sorry about that. Especially in the Bay Area, we have a brand new section of 880, which is an interstate highway that goes north and south along the East Bay corridor. Um, but outside of that brand new section, the freeway is garbage. I mean, it's potholed, it's railed, where there's long cracks along the travel route. 101, which is not an interstate highway, it's not deemed an interstate highway. However, it does go from um, south of San Diego all the way up into Oregon. I might go to Washington, but I haven't ever traveled it that far, so I don't really know. But we have a section right here in Santa Clara, in the city of Santa Clara, where the roadway is so rough, it's like driving on a dirt road. It throws rock from macadam and asphalt, and people get busted headlights, they get cracked windshields, nicks all over the front of their car and their mirrors. It's horrendous. And I drive it every day. I drive it every day from home to here, my work. It's a 48-mile trip each way, depending on which way it goes, 48 to 50 miles. And I just said, fuck it, I'm not paying this. I gotta find something else. I gotta find another way to get gasoline. AAA says the national average, and this is throwing California in there, is $3.50. The national average when you pull out California is $3.05. $3.05. And they're complaining about $3.05 because I think during Trump they were paying $1.96 or $2. We were paying 2.65, I think was the most it got up to here. And that's with the $1.05 tax. 2.65. You pull out that $1.05, just pull out 50 cents of it. We're paying 55 cents more than anybody else in the state, in the nation. And we're still paying over $2 a gallon. But we're much closer to the national average. Yesterday, I heard a report on the news. Gasoline in 3 counties in Northern California, San Francisco County, which is just the city of San Francisco and county, it's its own thing. Santa Clara County, and I believe Contra Costa County was the third county, that are over $6 a gallon for regular gasoline. That is, in my opinion, that is absolutely insane. Beyond insane. Our governor just signed a law last month, I believe. Let's see, this is September, so what's that, July? Either June, tail end of June or beginning of July. Signed a, no, August, sorry. Tail end of July, beginning of August. Just signed a bill stating, because he was complaining about, I think it was $5 gasoline. He's complaining, saying that the gasoline companies were gouging the citizens of California. What is he going to complain about now? Because that bill was supposed to say, or that bill said, according to Gavin Newsom, I haven't read it, that they're going to get fined if they continue. Sorry, I'm just going to move this down a little bit. They're going to continue to get fined if they continue to gouge us. What is $6 a gallon if that's not gouging? Or do they wait long enough to get the tax from that? Right? Because $1.05 a gallon, and now it's 6 something a gallon. We're not buying as much gasoline, so they're going to have to raise that tax again because they're losing tax revenue. Well, they lost tax revenue in the 90s when they decided by, I want to say 2000, I'm not positive, I think it was before 2000, but they said 10% of any auto dealer that was selling vehicles in California, 10% of their fleet, their entire fleet, had to be electric or alternative fuel. When you do that, and liberals buy those kind of vehicles, but when you do that, you lose revenue on fuel. You lose tax revenue. It just yin and yang. It is what it is. You can't get around it. And now they're bent, so they're going to try and put in this mileage tax. A mileage tax. How does that work? Do I have to self-report, or do you just check my vehicle when I do an oil change, or do they have to report that to CARB, which is the California Air Resources Board, who have just trashed everything as far as that goes. PG&E and Southern California Edison, and I think San Diego Gas and Electric, want to raise their rates, period. Just raise their rates to an exorbitant amount of money in the state of California because we don't use that much gas or electricity. And they want to change out all of our gas appliances. Our grid can't handle that. Our grid can't handle the electric cars that are on the road now. There's rolling brownouts this summer. It's gonna get worse because we're rolling into what is generally known as fire season. It's gonna get a little bit warmer. We'll have lightning strikes and assholes that just want to see it all burn. And I think one of those people is my governor. I say that because I think his eye is on the prize that is the presidency. He knows something. And my guess is he knows that Biden is not going to complete his run for the presidency. Kamala Harris is not wanted by anyone on either side of the aisle. So she'll resign, leaving the door open. John, sorry, Robert Kennedy Jr. I like Robert Kennedy Jr. I like what he's saying. I like what he's been saying for decades in the Senate. I think he's a senator or a House. He might be House, but I like what he's been saying. He's very central. Uh, he believes in the Constitution, and he pays attention. I just can't handle his voice. His voice is so scratchy. It sounds like he's fighting to talk all the time, and it's sorry, man. If you can get that fixed, I would vote for you in a heartbeat. I just can't. I just can't listen to you speak. I like you. I just can't listen to you speak. On the other hand, Governor Newsom, I can't even listen to him speak. Every time he opens his mouth, he is lying to you. And I say that with a straight face, with no compunction and no qualification. Every time he opens his mouth to speak, he is lying to you. Now, there are several uh, examples of his lies. The biggest one, he stole $1 billion from California's coffers to buy Chinese PPE in early 2020. Why did he do that? Because he did not want to be beholden in any way, shape, or form to Trump. And Trump said, "You guys have PPE. We've sent it to you. It was sent to you before his presidency, and we can get you more. That's not the problem. We have more in store." He didn't want to deal with Trump. He thought the smart thing was to go to China, where we always get all our crap, and buy $1 billion worth of PPE. Do we have that PPE around here someplace? No. Do you know why? Because it was Chinese PPE. When it got to the United States and got into customs, they found it was covered in COVID. It actually went through customs twice because the first time they just held it and shipped it back because it was coming from China. The second time it came, they ran it through customs and they ran it through testing, and it was covered in COVID. So it never got out of customs coming into the United States. It never got to California. Then the Senate realized what he had done. California Senate realized that he had stolen $1 billion, in other words, appropriated it without anybody else's knowledge. And he said, "Well, I had emergency powers. I could do it." And the Senate went, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure, that makes sense." No, it doesn't. It does not. That doesn't give him carte blanche to do whatever he fucking wants. He's a slick as owl snot pig. At the very minimum, he's a slick as owl snot pig. He's only out for the 1%, and I mean 1% in minorities. I mean 1% in wealthy people. His aunt is Nancy Pelosi. They are directly related. Directly related. So if you don't like Nancy Pelosi, there's absolutely no way you're going to like Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is a thief. A fucking thief. Nothing more, nothing less. He knows no better. He's the one that started the um, gay marriage thing. Now, I don't have an issue with that, but the way he did it was wrong. The way he did it was wrong. If you want to get married, dude, more power to you. Dude, lady, whatever. More power to you. If you think you can handle a lifetime with the same person, good on you. And the reason that they needed to be married primarily was, I mean, there's just the fact that state recognizes you as a married couple changes your tax ratings and all this stuff, but it also allows you to um, get Social Security aid when your partner dies, if your partner dies. I should say that way because it's not a win thing. But like if I die before my wife, she gets my Social Security benefits. It's just a postcard filing, basically. She just has to ask for it. If you're married, that's all you have to do. Before they were able to get married, it wasn't possible to do that with the Social Security. You could gift things to your partner, or you could put it in your will that this person gets it. But there was family used to fight pretty hard against it, and the courts would see more family than partner as far as they're dealing with making decisions. So I don't have a problem with the fact that it was done. I have a problem with the fact of how it was done. He was in San Francisco. He was governor. He was mayor of San Francisco at the time, and he just said, "Yeah, sure, we'll just do these." He fired people from the uh, government, the city government, and the county government, or had people fired from the county government. He fired people from the city government who wouldn't do it, and on whatever grounds. He just fired them. It's like, no, it's not legal at this point. No matter what you say, the city does not hold sway over the state. The state holds sway over the city. So yeah, no, it was not done correctly, and that's my biggest problem with that. Everything else, as far as the folks are concerned, super happy for them. I hope that they get everything that we get, that heterosexuals get. I don't have that issue. I grew up here in California. Literally, I was born in Bellflower, California, and I've been here ever since. The only time I was out of California is when I was in the military. That's the only time I've really been, for any length of time, out of the state of California. I believe in the state of California. I grew up in a state that had money to spare all the time. Now, that is not to say that we weren't still being kind of raked over the coals for taxes, but we weren't just throwing it away willy-nilly. And when they said this tax goes to this specific thing, it went to that specific thing. But then, in the last, I mean, the first time I really saw it happen as a conscientious voter was when uh, we voted in the lottery. When we voted in the lottery, we were told the lottery uh, profits, whatever profits they would get, would go to, certain percentage would go to schools, and that was it. Everything else would go to bank to pay off winners, right? So profits go to schools, everything else goes to the bank to pay off winners. Then they decided to put it all into the general fund. Well, in the general fund, they can do whatever they want with those funds. It's just a general ledger entry, meaning that money goes in there and just it's laundered. I mean, to use a legal colloquialism, it's laundering money because once it goes into this big fund of money, you don't have any idea where it goes because they don't have to tell you, not where that specific money goes, just where the general fund money goes. And the general fund money goes to, right now, primarily the bullet train that's not fucking going anywhere. It will not survive. It can't survive. It, and the reason I say that is because, I mean, because I love trains. I really do. I enjoy riding on a train. But what they're trying to do here in California is a spur line from Sacramento to San Francisco, a spur line from San Francisco to Fresno, a spur line from Fresno to Barstow and Bakersfield. I think they together, and then from there to Los Angeles, from there to San Bernardino, and then from there to San Diego. It's supposed to be a bullet train. Bullet trains are fast if they have room. The longest run for this alleged bullet train is going to be from San Francisco to Fresno. The bullet train itself is capable of doing over 250 miles an hour if it has room. There is not enough space between San Francisco and Fresno for that train, or from Fresno to Barstow Bakersfield, because I think that's actually possibly a longer run. For it to get to top speed and then slow down, it won't even get to 200 miles an hour because it has to slow down further than it had to accelerate. Sorry about that, little fly. Further than it has to further than the space it needs to accelerate to that speed. So you can only go like a third in acceleration, then you have to start to decelerate. Plus, it's not a straight shot from Fresno to Bakersfield. It's a little bit windy. And the only section that they've built, the only section that they have completed, I don't think it has rails yet, is the section between Merced. Well, it's actually a section in Merced County. It doesn't even go outside of Merced County, which is out in the middle of the desert, just north of Fresno. It's the only section they built. Do you know why it's the only section they built? It's the only section they built because it's the only section that they could get past the ERA, which is not ERA, ERA, environmental, environmental research or something like that, or EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, and the local environmentalists. It's the only section they were able to get past all those folks and say, yes, you can build here. Not between Sacramento and San Francisco. Not even coming out of San Francisco, where we have rail. But they had to build a special rail for this train. From top to bottom, everything is brand new for this train, which is why it costs billions of dollars to build. I don't know where we're getting the train from. I don't think it's Japanese. I think we're building locally. Well, in the States at any rate. The rails, I don't know where they come from. I mean, I know that when they rebuilt the Bay Bridge, they used Chinese concrete and Chinese steel, and the people that tested the Chinese concrete will not cross that bridge. That should tell you everything you need to know about that bridge. They won't cross it. And those are concrete pillars that are in the bay. They won't cross that bridge. They'll go around. They'll go down to the Hayward Bridge. I mean, the Hayward Bridge, or they'll go around to the Golden Gate Bridge or the Richmond Bridge. They will not cross the Bay Bridge. Not that section of it. They'll go out to Treasure Island from San Francisco, but they'll go back to San Francisco to get a different bridge. Coming back to my governor. He's going to run for president. I want you to know who he is before you vote. Because once Biden is out of the way, Democrats will come out of the woodwork to run. But Newsom thinks he has the inside track. And I will fuck him in the ass before I will allow him to win uncontested for the Democrat Party or the White House. I will absolutely ruin his political career because he's dangerous. He's not just dangerous to me. He's not just dangerous to the state of California. Running for president, he's dangerous to the United States. He has no moral compass. He has no moral grounding. When everybody's kids were in television school, computer school, watching the screen instead of being in a classroom, his kids were in a classroom. They were in a private school. Didn't matter. He would have found one where his kids could actually go to school because he saw the damage that was being done. I think I missed that one too. Damn, I don't know where all these flies are coming from. Anyway, sorry. I'm losing my temper, and I don't want to lose my temper because I want you to hear what I have to say. When everybody else was told they can't run their business, they can't go out and be with friends, they can't, without masks, they can't congregate in groups of more than, I think it was more than 6. He was going to dinner at a stupidly expensive restaurant, a 4-star Michelin restaurant, or 3-star, probably 3-star. I don't know anybody that got 4-star Michelin. At any rate, no masks, drinking alcohol, laughing, sitting within 2 or 3 feet of each other. Didn't matter to him. He knew then that COVID wasn't nearly as dangerous as everybody was saying. Crap, I didn't want to say that word. And it's coming back. Why is it coming back? Oh yeah, because there's an election coming, a major election. That's why COVID's coming back. Not because it changed, not because it's getting better or stronger or worse or whatever. But because they want to win an election. They are going to bankrupt Donald Trump. Then they're going to put him in prison. And then they're going to say, you see, if you don't toe the line, this is what happens to you. Don't toe the line. Be brave. Be courageous. Don't buy the bullshit. Do some research. I will hook up a couple of things with this. so that you can see who Gavin Newsom is. But it will be my absolute pleasure to destroy his political career. And it won't be difficult if you guys just open your eyes a little bit. I hope this goes viral. I hope you spread it around. I don't. I mean, honestly, it would help me, but it's not my focus. I'm not trying to make money off of this. I'm telling you right now, I am not going to allow him to run unabated, to run unopposed, to allow his lies to get out into the open without some kind of uh, action versus consequences. Legally, through this medium, I want to take him down. I want everybody in the United States to know who he is before he runs. Because I'm not hearing anybody else that's spouting his Joker face bullshit that he does. He called the Second Amendment a right. He has injured people. He's killed people like dipshit in New York. And in the same way, in the beginning of COVID, just stuff them all into rehab facilities. Rehab facilities did not have the ability or the wherewithal to handle one, the influx of people, and two, the disease itself. Ask the folks in New York how well that went over. Same thing here in California. Don't allow him to lie without being called out on them. The news here loves him to death because he's pretty. Gavin's a pretty boy. There's no doubt about it. Uh, talk to his ex-wife. Do you know who his ex-wife is? Guilfoyle on Fox News. Talk to her about him. She'll tell you he's slick as owl snot and just as filthy. Got bones in that snot you'll never know. He's got so many bones the closet can't hold them all. He needs a bigger closet. I will find them. I will find all of them. I will promote them. I will publish them, and I will kill his career. That is my focus. From this point to the election 2024, and if he survives that and doesn't get president, but runs again, I will do it again. I will do it again and again and again and again until he no longer runs or he's dead. Not by my hand, just natural causes would be fine with me. I cannot, in good conscience, allow him to run unopposed, unabated, without people knowing who he actually is. Because I know there's a bunch of Democrats out there and liberals that will buy all of his bullshit. I've already seen them buy all of the bullshit coming out of the Senate and the House during Trump's run. I'm sorry, not during Trump's run. During Trump's run and during his presidency. They just could not buy that we didn't want their bullshit anymore. That we wanted somebody who was America first, who was able to make good deals for the United States, who wasn't willing to let China just run all over us in the marketplace. Make this go viral, please. I'll follow up tomorrow with other stuff. I'll follow up the day after that. Actually, no, tomorrow's Saturday. I'll follow up on Monday because I'm going to do a lot of research over the weekend. I will absolutely hack this son of a bitch to pieces in the media. Don't let him bullshit you. This rabbit has teeth and claws intentionally. Live long, fight hard, win the day. See ya.